physical ailments, you managed to conquer one of the peaks of Kanchenjunga mountains.
I was fortunate to find one person, a sage, a normal looking person who knew the technique how to control your heartbeat. And this is what these sages in the Himalayas do.
Okay, interesting.
And he taught me how to practice that.
I would love to know that Sherpa story.
Mountain never throws a person who has shown respect to them. And this is
Wow.
how I used to talk to the mountain, communicate to them that I care for you and you make sure that I don't fall.
So you talk to mountains and they listen to you. Wow.
I always had faith in universe, the energies of universe.
Yeah.
But I think the words what Furbu Hangyal said, it just reiterated
Yeah.
that I need not worry about it because mountain will take care of it. So the sun used to rise around 3:30 in the morning. At that height, at
Yeah.
15,000 feet, we would have a very early sunrise.
Okay.
And he said that, yes, I saw you many times that while everybody else was still resting, I would wake up and go and sit on one of the rock and do yoga or meditation. How did I still manage to acclimatize even if I was not eating well? And I believe that I was getting energy from the sun or from other sources.
Okay.
And of course, the divine source.
Hi everyone, I'm your host Aysha and I'm so excited to have each one of you on this incredible journey ahead with real stories, real power and real purpose. On this show, we get phenomenal people who share their stories of transformation, resilience and self-discovery. These wonderful people have turned their pain into purpose, their challenges into growth, and I'm sure listening to these conversations, you'll definitely be inspired to be the best version of yourself. Let me introduce to my very first guest on this show, Peenesh Sanghvi, the unstoppable Himalayan Guy. I'll tell you in a while why I tagged him the Himalayan Guy, but let me share an interesting fact about him. He's the only Indian to drive from Dubai to India via road. Isn't it cool? Interestingly, he also has helped people to get released from the jail and received royal pardon from His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, ruler of Dubai. Isn't that amazing? Well, the reason why I have tagged him the Himalayan Guy, it's because that's where he feels it's his real home, a safe place to breathe, to reset, and to reclaim his life back. It's my honor to have him on my very first show.
Thank you, Aysha, for such a splendid introduction. And it's a privilege for me to be your first guest, a title which I know I will always own it, no matter how many more guests you have on this podcast.
For sure, you'll always be remembered. The first ones are always remembered.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. So let's transition from your story of daring to dream to facing your fears. Your story around Kanchenjunga mountains. Despite of having physical ailments, you managed to conquer one of the peaks of Kanchenjunga mountains. That's like a way of facing fears. Like you conquered the peak with your physical ailments and you were able to do that work.
Yes, so I have always been fascinated when it comes to mountains. But the only drawback was the family history of heart ailments, and then I had some mild symptoms of asthma also. I was fortunate to find one person, a sage, a normal looking person who knew the technique how to control your heartbeat. and this is what these sages in the Himalayas do.
Okay, interesting.
And he taught me how to practice that, and this gave me the courage to pursue this dream about trekking in Kanchenjunga.
Uh-huh.
So I had heard about Everest, but I thought Kanchenjunga would be good. One, because it is not so crowded as Everest, and at the same time, uh, this is the third highest peak in the world.
Yeah.
So I decided to go on this trek and to summit on one of the peaks in the Kanchenjunga mountain range there.
Yeah. I would love to know that Sherpa story.
Yes, certainly. I mean, if it was not for him, I wouldn't have been able to conquer that fear. So we had already reached about 12,000 feet, and the trek from that point onwards was very steep.
Okay.
And he knew that I was suffering. I was suffering because of one, we were carrying 20 kg load on our back, and because of the trek very steep, he thought that I would not be able to make it. There were other people already talking about sending me back, because they thought it would be best to send him back from here rather than much above, because then they would have to look for help. And when we were discussing about the fears, I told him that how fearful I was feeling because of the fear of slipping.
Yeah.
And the reason was, just few days before that, there was snowfall, and those boulders which we were trekking on were covered with snow. But the snow was not so thick that I should be wearing crampons. And because I was not wearing crampons with those shoes, the normal shoes that I had, I would slip every time. And he said, don't worry about that. Whatever may happen, but you will not fall from the mountain. And I said, no, how do you say that? He said, I have seen you picking up the rags and those chocolate wraps or chips wrap, in spite of carrying heavy load and in spite of the fact that I was the last to reach. And I said, yes, because I felt very bad that the mountains, such nice, clean, serene, why would they have to bear all these plastics around it?
Wow. What
So
a
I used to
nice
carry
thing.
them and
Yeah.
then dispose it off responsibly when I reached my point. And he said, mountain never throws a person who has shown respect to them. And that statement gave me the confidence that no matter how many times I would slip, but I would not fall. And this is
Wow.
how I used to talk to the mountain, communicate to them that I care for you and you make sure that I don't fall.
So you talk to mountains and they listen you. Wow.
The fact that I am still alive and not injured, and I made it to the top and I came back down safely. Yes, on my way back, I did injure myself where I had a ligament issue on my left knee. But still, I made it back on foot right to the base. And
Wow.
this was certainly because of the blessings, whatever the energy of the mountain or the divine energy there. There were some people in the group. Some of them were from various agencies like Air Force or Army or ITBP, which is Indo-Tibet Border Police or something. And I remember there was one person very fit, the last person you can imagine who would get hurt. And he fell from one of the cliffs there and hurt himself.
Oh
He
my
survived,
God.
but he had to be taken to the base on the stretcher. Everybody thought, and very easily, that if at all anybody had to face anything like this, the first person that would be me. But no,
That's amazing.
mountains took care of me.
Mountains took care of you really well. That's really amazing. It's just the words of Sherpa made that difference in your mindset, and you had that courage to overcome your fears, your internal fears of falling down. That works. Like when you are in such situations, when you're facing fears or any sort of troubles, sometimes you just need little shift in your mindset, which gives you the strength to overcome your fears. In your case, his words were magical, and you could conquer the peak. And it's really commendable for you to pick up trash, garbage on the way. That's one of the way we pay attribute to nature, in a way that so nature takes care of us, nature heals us.
That is true. I mean, if you see, I have always believed in the energies of nature. To me, God or anything is in an energy form, not in the conventional form or anything. And this love for nature is just beyond the air, wind, or trash or anything, but it is much more higher. Even though I must say that because of our earthly things, it starts from here. And ultimately, then it boils down to your thoughts, your emotions, your vibrations, your energy. And that is what constitutes not just your spirituality, but your communion with universe and with the energies of the universe. And I believe in my case, this is what worked. I always had faith in universe, the energies of universe.
Yeah.
But I think the words what Furbu Vangyal said, it just reiterated
Yeah.
that I need not worry about it
Yeah.
because mountain will take care of it.
Yeah, sometimes we need to hear that words, one person therapy, like one
Yes.
person, assuring us, one person telling us, making us feel safe. It's so important sometimes in life.
So,
So,
he
Yeah.
since he's a Sherpa, so
Yeah.
for him, mountain is the god. They
Yeah.
call it as mountain god. And
Uh-huh.
I was only going by his faith about the mountain as if it's an entity that he could communicate with.
What do mountains whisper back to you?
They do. They do.
They do.
So he understood that I was talking to the mountain because I would wake up. So the sun used to rise around 3:30 in the morning. At that height, at
Yeah,
15,000 feet, we would have a very early sunrise.
Okay.
And he said that yes, I saw you many times. That while everybody else was still resting, I would wake up and go and sit on one of the rock and do yoga or meditation. And then, even though I was not eating because I didn't feel like eating, and he thought that this was the worst thing because it would hinder my whole process of acclimatization. And even I don't understand, but more than that, even he cannot understand that how did I still manage to acclimatize even if I was not eating well. And I believe that I was getting energy from the sun or from other sources,
Okay.
and of course the divine source.
So I want you to give advice to the listeners, the young, aspiring adventure seekers who are planning to go for such mountain treks. Can you please share some sort of advice for them, like who are just planning to do or just thinking to venture on? Maybe the story can give them a hint to do it. So I just want you to share one piece of advice for them.
So of course, when you are in the mountain, there are a lot of risk, and one has to be responsible and be sensible about whatever they do. But I'll give the same advice what Furbu gave to me, that if you take care of the mountain take cares of you.
Wow, brilliant. I feel your story is inspiring at so many levels, from daring to dream to facing your fears, from conquering the mountain peaks to fighting legal battles. So, in a way, it feels like I'm hearing stories from extraordinary men. Somebody who's, I feel blessed. I feel very proud about it that you are here with me today.
True. No, I must say, I am like any other ordinary person. Yes, there are some things that I have been able to do it, what most people don't even think of doing it. And the only thing that I say is that it could be the DNA of my soul. Why do I think differently. And most importantly is, even if I think differently, it does get manifested. In one or the other way, I do get support, whether it be for the stuff that I was doing in prosecution, whether it is my road trip, or whether it
Okay.
is going into the Himalayas or anything. And I'm fortunate and I feel blessed that in the times of distress, at least I know that there is some divine energy which is looking upon me. And this could have been possible because of various modalities that I have been introduced to, the meditation practice, the places of high energy, high octane that I've been visiting, like the Kamakhya or other places. And which is why I wish that I could learn about this more and more.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
So,